we're learning about graphing this week, so today we need to go collect some data. Who's your favorite football team?
Patriots.
Okay, great.
Boo!
Miss Hubler! What's your favorite football team?
Browns.
Wrong answer. Miss Brooks! What's your favorite football team?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Boo. No one's home. Miss Herbst, who's your favorite football team?
Why are you for Friday morning?
Who's your favorite?
New York Giants, come on.
Who's your favorite football team? Okay, bye.
I'm out of breath.
Mr. Keys, who's your favorite football team?
The Jets.
Boo. 316. Who's your favorite football team?
New York Giants.
Boo. Wow. Who's your favorite football team?
Steelers.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Where's the Buffalo Bills?
Water break. Water break. Mr. Hoffman, who's your favorite football team?
The Bills.
Yeah!
Mr. Fairclough, who's your favorite?
Was I supposed to tackle her?
Who's your favorite football team?
I don't know football team.
What?
Buffalo Bills.
No.
Yeah!
Who's your favorite football team?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Who's your favorite football team?
Patriots.
Oh my gosh.
Hike. Who's your favorite football team?
Giants.
Okay. Who's your favorite football team?
The Raiders.
Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan.
What is going
Favorite
on?
football team?
What? My favorite football team, the Giants.
Mr. Aguayo.
What's your favorite football team?
I don't like football.
Sneak attack.
What's your favorite football team?
Bears.
Yes!
Get back here, Miss Smith. I'm gonna fall.
What's your favorite football team?
Oh my god, I don't know one.
What's your favorite football team?
Giants, easy.
What?
Hey, you. Hey, you.
No, come back here. What's your favorite football team?
The Giants.
Okay. What? Who's your favorite football team?
I don't have one.
Who's your favorite football team?
The Cleveland Browns.
Hey guys, so now that we have our data, it's time to graph our results. Okay, so graphs are a visual way to show the results of data. First thing that you need to do when you get a graph is to label your X and Y axes. Your table will typically also be set up in the XY format. So that can help you to let you know which goes on which axis. According to this, our football teams are going to go on the x-axis, and our number of fans are going to go on the y-axis. If I can get it to move. Of course, the computer hates me right now. Number of fans are going to go on the y-axis over here. Once you've got both of them labeled, we can go ahead and put the numbers up on our y-axis. I know that the highest number that we need to get to is 6, and we always have to start at 0. So here I can actually count up by 1s, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I always like to go just a little beyond the highest number that we need. We're only graphing 4 teams here today. Okay, so we can space them out quite a bit. The first team is the Patriots, and the Patriots only had 2 teachers that were fans. So we're going to build our bar up to the second line, which is number 2. Once you've got your bar, you want to color it in, and then you want to label it so that someone else looking at this graph is able to understand which team that is. The next team is the Giants. The Giants had the most fans. They had 6. So we're going to go all the way up to the 6 to draw our bar. Same thing, you want to color it in and label it Giants. Bills had 3. The reason I knew to use a bar graph is because we're comparing different categories. So bar graphs are used when comparing, oops, I went too far, when comparing different categories. So here we are comparing different teams. That's why we are using a bar graph. Once you've got everything plotted, last thing that you always have to do is give a title to your graph. So what I like to do for the title is to just combine the axis titles for the x-axis and the y-axis. So we got the number of fans per football team. Bar graphs, again, are used for comparing different categories, whereas a line graph is used to measure change over time. So time is always going to go on your x-axis, and the thing that you are measuring is always going to go on your y-axis. Same thing here, label our data table XY, and we're going to label our axes XY. Just like I said, time is always on the x-axis. So we can drag weeks right over to the x-axis, and we can grab the number of wins and pull that up top to the y-axis. Here we have to put numbers on both axes. So we are creating a line graph which shows change over time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And I always like to go a little beyond. Again, we are always starting at 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going a little beyond there. Next thing we have to do is plot. So if we look at week 1, they won their game that week. So we need to go week 1, we need to go up, number of wins 1, and we can place a red X. The second week, they won another game. So their total number of wins throughout the season was 2. Week 3, they won, so they are continuing on this nice winning streak all the way up to week 5. I just followed this. Week 2, they had 2 wins, so I went 2, 2. Week 3, they had 3 wins, so we went to 3. We went all the way up to 3. Now, what happened week 6 was that they lost to the Patriots. So they are stuck here at 5 wins. So on week 6, they're going back and plotting 5 wins. Now we got all of our data plotted. We can connect our points with a straight line. Again, last thing we need to do is to give our graph an axis or a title. So if somebody just walked up and looked at this graph, they would know exactly what it's about. So our axis title is the number of wins for the Bills over the first 6 weeks of the season. Now that you've had a quick intro, I just want to point out some key takeaways from today. Line graphs are used when showing change over time. Timeline. Line graphs change over time. Bar graphs are used when comparing categories. Things to always include on your graph are a title and axis labels so that anybody who walks up to your graph can see what it's about. Thanks for stopping in. Until next time.
So, you want to know my favorite football team? The Bills! Kick my heels up and throw your hands up and throw your hands up and come on now, the Bills will make it happen now. Stand up everybody and shout, hey, say you will, shout it down now, baby, say you will. Come on and shout, come on and shout.